Black Panther being recast,
Shock.
the latest reports. So this is an interesting one because when Chadwick died, there was like a year of, hey, we don't know what's going on, what decision they're going to make, what's going on with Black Panther. And then obviously we got the confirmation they are not recasting. They were going to explain in the film in Wakanda Forever what happens to T'Challa. Of course, you've seen the opening of the film, he dies. And then here we go. During that entire time, there was a campaign. It really started off with E-Man movies, and I had him on the show, for a podcast, an interview.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of like one of the first being like, don't ditch T'Challa, recast him because this sets a bad precedent for the future of everything. And since then, we've seen actors pass away and they've been recast. But again, T'Challa was like a weird situation. And now a lot of people are just going, you should have just recast, to honor T'Challa and Black Panther Chadwick Boseman himself, so I can kind of see why maybe they admit defeat because like T'Challa's story was not over. Like we had so many more comic book things to do, it was weird.
It's a tough one because I think for the immediate movie that was coming out, I think not recasting was the right choice. I think
Right.
that's
Yeah.
fair enough. You had, it's not like the movie's bad.
Right.
Like most people love that movie. I think the kid, I understand what they were going for with the junior and the legacy thing, and then you'll live on in like the next generations or whatever. Fine. I think if all went better in the MCU, you kind of should have been like, we'll just recast him after Secret Wars because it's Secret Wars. It's the big reset, right? So it's fine there. Obviously, I get why they didn't want to say that because you're kind of telling people what's going to happen later down the line. But you would never know if that was always the plan or not now.
And also, we got
what they say. It's like, we do. Obviously, you just bow.
Right. And you got to account for the pandemic, which is unfortunate because had the pandemic not happened, right now we could be looking at Black Panther 4 because the idea was new Black Panther every 2.5 years. The pandemic delayed Wakanda Forever so much. And then, I mean, we would have already had Secret Wars. It'd be out already. We'd be past Secret Wars right now had the pandemic not happened. So, like, we're in a different position. So the T'Challa scenario to me was kind of like, we know he was their golden boy. He was going to be the new Iron Man. And then everything got thrown sideways.
Like I'm of two minds here. On one end, I mean, I get why they didn't want to, and they wanted to shelf T'Challa because of the people that are working on the project. They have the right to feel how they felt when both of them passed away. But on the opposite end, it's kind of disservice to T'Challa as a character himself because it sets a precedent that you can replace or recast all these other characters of other nationalities and stuff, but you can't do it for this black man that's like one of the most iconic characters or people of color ever in comics. You can't do it for some reason. That's what some people felt some type of ways that for whatever reason they can't just recast them after a set amount of years to have the people grieve and have time to process everything that you could have T'Challa come back in a way. And that's why some people, from what I've seen, some people didn't like the way that they did it to where they had T'Challa the second is the secret child come up and say, oh, you're gonna have their version of T'Challa. I'm like, that wasn't really the way to go, even though there technically is a child of a child. It's his name usually it's a boy. His name is not T'Challa the second. It's some other one, but it's usually a child of him and Storm. So
it was a tough one, right? It's still in now. Like, even their whole reasoning for not doing it is, it's not coming from like a place of malice that I think a lot of people automatically took it from, and if you did that, it's fair enough. But it was a lose-lose no matter what they did. It was such a horrific situation for them to be in. Obviously, it's worse for the family and the friends, naturally, but from a studio standpoint alone, which is what I'm talking about, then I didn't envy that in the slightest. But
and like give it enough time, I think people will be more accepting of it. Certainly, I've seen people change their tune, and like like you said, you got Secret Wars coming up. It's a natural reset point of everything, so you can kind of, I guess, look at the temperature of the room and go, well, how do we proceed forward? And I think that that's sort of like the ability that they got now. So I assume it's going to go the way that I think most people think it's going to go. The recasting, I think, will be post Secret Wars, and maybe test Secret Wars with that actor, like they tested Black Panther in Civil War. Like after his huge
I
success,
think you're going to get Secret Wars. You're going to get a good few Black Panthers.
Exactly, and be like, which one resonates the best with people? Like 2 to 3 would make sense.
Which might not be a good way to do it, but at the same time,
yeah,
do whatever. Yeah, they didn't even need Secret Wars technically. You just have a time jump, but it depends how far you want to jump forward in your own timeline. But
right, because they gave us like a 4-year buffer, almost a 5-year buffer, but then the pandemic happened. So again, maybe Secret Wars could legit be like, hey, we're jumping 10 years. Let's give ourselves a buffer. Let's age people up. Let's bring these actors like again, it's an interesting thing to think about when it comes to this whole idea. So, I don't know. I feel like whatever decision they make, there's always going to be blowback, like,
because now it's just going to be seen as, oh, the Wakanda Forever failed and that idea failed. You just listen to everyone because you want the money for T'Challa back. Well, we're not going to go see it. So.
And that's like another weird thing is that like Chadwick Boseman he's not the one and only T'Challa, where there's different iterations of T'Challa out throughout the years that he's been in comics. So saying that there could never be another T'Challa is just disingenuous, in that you're right to feel the way you feel, but the character of T'Challa always lives on, no matter who is playing that role. So,
which was supposed to be the entire point of the kid, right? The idea and the concept of this character is always going to be around, but maybe I think done the best. But
the problem they run into, like, if you bring the kid in as T'Challa, right? Here's the next film. Then, hey, I'm T'Challa. Oh, okay. You got to fight for the right to the throne. Okay, let's fight at the waterfalls. Oh, look, there's an outside force. It's like, so you're just going to rehash Black Panther 1? Like, oh my God. Like, there is such a tough
Which would be for the third time, because the second one was just Black Panther 1 as well.
Again, yeah. It was just like swapping another character. Yeah. So I trust Coogler is going to do good here. He clearly cares, he's got a big deal with Disney, and like,
I think Wakanda Forever shows that he clearly cares.
Oh yeah.
That entire movie is like, I actually give a shit. But
yeah, it's amazing. Like, I really love that film. Obviously, it's years removed now, and we're waiting for the next one. We know it's happening. We know Denzel Washington's in it. So there we go. Give Denzel Black Panther role. Let's see how he does.
And why not?
Multiverse it.
It would be interesting after Secret Wars to see how they go with it, because for people who don't know, during Secret Wars, towards the end, T'Challa goes back in time and tells his ancestors to go to space, and then you get the intergalactic empire of Wakanda.
And
essentially, that started. Because I was looking back on it, I was like, how did that happen again? Because I remember him technically go back in time, but I don't really understood it. But once I read it back again, is that he went back in time and told some young ones about, instead of staying on Earth, go to space.
Yeah,
then that's how that stuff starts. So,
oh man. Well, with that out of the way, again, you guys can let us know how you feel about this. I'm pretty sure we'll find out an answer soon enough in regards to what their plans are, because they're working on Black Panther 3, and that's definitely coming after Secret Wars, so the details will get out there.
What should be between the two Avengers movies?
Oh my God. Could you imagine? That's how they test the Black Panthers all over the place. It's just the Battle World film.
Instead of having like the Thor Corps,
Yeah, Panther Corps, yeah.
I was going to say the Panther Patrol, but I'm not entirely sure that's...
Yeah.
Right in my head, but...
Yeah, it is what it is. So, We'll be back to talk more about this when we find out more, so stay tuned. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.